lot of new happenings inside the Charleston County Treasurer's Office. Today, I talk one-on-one with Charleston County Treasurer Mary Tinkler for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Charleston County Treasurer Mary Tinkler, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you greatly. Needless to say, your office obviously collects real, personal, motor vehicle, and other taxes and oversees the disbursement to county government, municipalities, schools, and special taxing districts in Charleston County. So tell me this, Mary, what's new, what's now with the Charleston County Treasurer's Office?
Well, I appreciate you asking. So we are working, still to this day on just fine-tuning a lot of the processes that I have put into place over the past 7 years. As you know, I brought to this county the advanced tax installment plan, which has been very successful for people who want to make payments on their real estate property taxes over the course of the year. So we've been working on, again, fine-tuning that process, as well as providing outreach and building that outreach program for that program, along with others that the auditor, like the homestead exemption, has under his purview, the assessor who has the legal residence tax exemption under their purview, and even the probate judge to work through the will and estate process. So, we often as a team go out to let taxpayers in this county know about all of the programs and exemptions that they have to take advantage of. So working on that. And then we are also in the process right now of implementing a new tax system. So that is actually quite a big endeavor. And we, are working alongside the assessor, the auditor's office, delinquent tax office, and revenue collections with the county. So those offices are all connected through this tax system. And so it certainly takes a wide coordinated effort to ensure that when it goes live, and it will go live next year, is correct. So we want it to be the best that can be.
Certainly. And when it comes to that, obviously, new tax system, Treasurer, what exactly is the training that is required for you in your office right now?
Well, right now we are not doing training on it right at this very moment, but it will include a lot of testing to make sure that the numbers are accurate and correct. Once that training does come down, we want to make sure that our front line is well prepared to collect as they do now. And, there will be some minor changes to this upgraded system. So minor changes to the collection side, but then also we're looking to make sure that it works really well on the reporting side for each of our political subdivisions. So yes, we'll train them as we do, just to make sure that they know how to collect correctly.
And what will there be those subtle changes, minor changes for the political subdivisions that you just mentioned?
Well, to be honest, I do not know all of them at this very moment. So we're still working through this process. We're transferring data right now. And so we have not gotten ourselves to the testing and the training portion. So that's going to come down the line.
Yes, ma'am.
We hope that it's going to be going live next August. That's the hope. So we're pushing towards that, but we haven't gotten there quite yet.
Now, how much data will you actually transfer from the old system to this new data system?
A lot, all of it. So Quinn, unfortunately, those are the technical questions that I probably don't know for sure. But of course, it's going to give all the data that we have in our current tax system. For all of the properties, the parcels that we have in our county, for all of the motor vehicles that we have in our county, for all of the watercraft and business personal property. So all of those accounts are having to then transfer over to the new tax system. So yes, we will be working on that throughout the next year.
And I know, obviously, this particular system, obviously, I'm not too sure if it went through Charleston County Council for approval or not, but how much did that cost your office as far as launching this new system?
Well, that is an ask that we did make of county
Mm,
council. So again, because it was the combined offices, it was something that I went before county council to see if they would approve that process. We asked them for, I believe it was 5 million
sure.
for this system. Yeah.
Wow. And how much money how much money will you all have to keep? I mean, I guess in the budget or whatever for this system to continue to advance in the next 5 to 10 years?
For the maintenance of it,
Precisely. Yes, ma'am.
that is going to be under the IT,
Mm,
IT's budget.
sure,
So
sure.
they are working through those numbers.
Wow. And
It will
going
not be something that falls under my budget in the treasurer's office.
exactly right.
But
Eh,
but because it's an umbrella
oh, yes.
tax system, it
Right.
falls under, yes, IT's budget.
IT's budget. And let me ask
Mhm.
you this: when it comes to obviously that advanced tax plan that you implemented when you first came into office 7 years ago, how many people in Charleston County have actually signed on to this plan?
We have about 2,000 that have signed on to this plan at this point, and that is not only just individual property owners, but
Right.
those are business owners. Those
Mm,
are people who own just vacant land.
mm,
So it has helped a wide variety of people who have it not only as just a primary residence, but also use it for rental purposes or investment purposes or business purposes. So, yeah, there have been a lot of people who have been helped by this.
and I know this is probably a silly question, but as you know, and everyone else knows here in Charleston, Airbnbs are popping up. So, how much has that affected your advanced tax plan?
It does not affect it
Mm,
at all.
mm.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. And I obviously I know, Treasurer, that your office collects real personal, motor vehicle, and other taxes and oversees the disbursement of county government, municipalities, schools, and special taxing districts here in the county. So let me ask you,
Mhm.
in regards to that special taxing district, how many special taxing districts came online in the county in 2023?
None that I'm aware of. Special
Okay.
taxing districts. So
Yes,
those are
ma'am.
going to be things like the James Island Public Service District,
Sure.
St. Andrews Public
Yes.
Service District. Those, yes, yeah.
Wow. And how much disbursement of funds did the Charleston County School District, for instance, receive in 2023?
For 2023, are we talking about fiscal year or
Yes, ma'am.
calendar
Oh, yeah,
year? I mean,
fiscal
so
years.
we're still working through the fiscal
Oh,
year.
yeah, because they started, yeah,
So that
July.
ends June 30th.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that will end June 30th. Yep.
Okay. And I know that obviously your
Yep.
office maintains records of revenues collected by these districts and invests any funds not immediately needed for disbursement. So how much of those funds were not immediately needed for disbursement the past year?
Well, so whenever we collect funds, right? So we are collecting funds at the time that, of course, they're uh, coming into us, and that is when I invest them.
Mm,
So we disperse them every month to the political subdivisions. So once they are needed for disbursement, that is when I am pulling them typically out of the investments and sending them to those political subdivisions that we for whom we collect.
And how much money, for lack of a better word, was in the investments applied to you sending to those particular political, subsidiaries?
A lot,
Wow.
definitely a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, because of the growth, Treasurer, do you see that increasing by how much?
Well, so I mean, when the growth happens, of course, it's going to be more for us to. It will increase the collections, which therefore increases what it is that I can invest before
Mm,
it's dispersed. So yes, it will increase.
wow. Do you know the percentage wise how much that would actually increase by?
I do not know the percentage.
Okay. And I know obviously the departments within the treasurer's office obviously deposit their funds such as grants, plat sales, fines, and copy fees with the treasurer, who invests their money along with the tax collections to generate additional revenues for the county in form of interest earnings. So what was the interest earnings on those additional revenues in 2023?
It, it, it is all combined together. So as we are depositing funds across the county,
Yes, ma'am.
we are investing those as we can.
Wow. Now, and I want to get back to that in just a second, but what has become the most complicated billing for your office? Is it real property or personal property?
So my office does not do the billing.
Right, right.
That's
So I'm
going to be
sorry.
something the auditor's
I should
office
say the
does. So
disbursement.
whatever that's all right. Yeah. So whatever the county auditor is billing, then that is what we are going to collect.
Mm,
And so the disbursement is going to happen the exact same way to
mm.
each of the political subdivisions.
Wow. Yes, ma'am.
So
So,
bill is broken down
oh yes.
based on the political subdivision for which you're in.
Yes, ma'am. Where do you see the increase of real and personal property in this particular county?
In terms of valuation, or
Yeah, yes,
what do
ma'am.
you mean?
Yeah, as far as a lot of people are moving here to Charleston now. So where do you see the uptick in real and personal property?
It's happening throughout the county.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that a lot of people have moved to Charleston County over the past couple of years. So how does your office actually grow with smart growth?
So we do, as many people will recognize, on a tax bill, you'll see an address, for example, for Charlotte, North Carolina.
Hmm.
And that is a lockbox. It is what we call a lockbox. It's a processing center
Yeah.
that will help us collect and process the mail and deposit directly into the bank.
Right.
So we're outsourcing things like that as we're growing. We're trying to still keep a tight number on the amount of personnel that I have in the office. Of course, I have 4 offices around the county, one
Yes, ma'am.
downtown, one in
Right.
North Charleston, one in Mount Pleasant, and one in Ravenel.
Oh,
And so I have, staff spread out throughout the county to help answer questions and with collections as well. But certainly to keep that, personnel number, where it is, I have to work with outside vendors to help with other services, so that y'all are getting the services that you need from our office, and so that the collection and disbursement is as smooth as it can be. That also includes, being able to use a vendor who helps us with receipting. If you do not pay online, you would receive it, but you pay by mail, for example, you would receive a receipt mailed to you from an outside vendor. So we're having to, we certainly work with other vendors to help us achieve our mission here in the treasurer's office. That also goes to, while it's certainly not a perfect solution, I have worked with our IT department to add on Athena to our call system.
right.
If you were to call in, you're going to get someone named Athena, who we've named Athena because she is the goddess of wisdom. And so she is going to be able to answer basic questions like, where our service centers may be, what our address is, if you need to mail in a payment,
Yes.
when the payment is due, what the postmark date, the last day to make a payment would be. So basic questions like that,
Yes, ma'am.
that people may need to call and just ask. We've also, but so it's not perfect. I recognize that because certainly the majority of people do want to speak to a live agent, which we certainly have those available in the back to help as well. But we're just trying to, again, work towards, providing y'all the best customer service possible by by utilizing technology at our, that we have available, as well as other vendors. So, yes.
Now, as you know, and it's been on and reported in the news, and we see it a lot on social media, but do you see your office increasing that customer service with AI?
It is entirely possible. I mean, we do look at those solutions to see if they will work for our office. Again, we have worked, with Athena, which is not perfect, but we continue to kind of fine tune that as well. While it's not AI, we do have a live chat feature as well on our website. So if you wanted to, write us, you will get someone who is going to be corresponding with you, by computer in real time as well. So, I mean, we'll constantly look towards those solutions to see what is the best, most efficient use of money.
Sure.
One, I mean, I recognize certainly taxpayer dollars are y'all's, and we want to make sure that we're using them to the best of our abilities. So we want to make sure it's going to be cost effective, and certainly is going to work to do what it is that we need to do for y'all. So we'll always be looking towards solutions, new solutions.
What new solutions are you keeping an eye on as far as trends?
There's always new ways to make payments. So that in my office is what I am typically going to be looking to is, how best to help you make a tax payment as easily as possible.
Sure.
And then, of course, as our county grows, just as you said, customer service is a tremendous part of what it is that I do in my office, or I feel that we're called to do, because we are here because of y'all. We're trying to make sure that you are getting the answers that you need in the most kind and best way, friendly way. We recognize that, taxes is certainly something that no one wants to have to pay towards. We all have to do it for the collective good of this community. But we want to make sure that, that is certainly customer service is at the forefront of what it is that we're doing for you, in addition to collecting and dispersing funds. So yes, we'll always look to see if there are any kind of AI solutions that make that better for y'all. Customer service. Payments and customer service. Those are how we, we're looking towards new trends with AI.
And Treasurer, I know you mentioned earlier about obviously that processing center in Charlotte, North Carolina, and you have to outsource some of the resources that you all are using. How much is that actually costing your office to outsource most of those?
It depends upon the time of year, and how much they are collecting and processing for us.
Wow.
So of course there's a 4-month period once the real estate tax bills go out to the time that they are collected, that certainly there's going to be an uptick in that. So
wow.
Yeah.
And where's that uptick this particular year?
Same time. So every year the real estate tax bills will go out in October,
yes.
And they will be due by the middle of January. And so we will always see an uptick in the need for help in processing payments during that time of year.
Now, everyone's, using phones and all this stuff now. Do you see an uptick in e-bills, or are people just, wanting to be mailed these particular items?
Well, so that is something that the auditor's office is in charge of, and so they have, as you know, implemented an e-billing solution. And I do believe that there have been quite a number of people who have opted to have that done for them. So
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, wow. And when it comes to those service centers that you just mentioned, with the growth that is happening right now in Charleston County, where else do you want to place these service centers in the county?
Well, we try to make sure that the service centers in the county are going to be, with other benefits of the county. So typically in a service center, you're going to find other things that the county is offering. So whether that's a magistrate court, whether that's a sheriff's department office, whether that is
DMV.
the DMV like it is in Mount Pleasant.
Oh, yes.
We want to make sure that the service centers are a place that you can go and receive, a variety of get a variety of needs met at the same time. So at this time, we are kind of always just looking to see if particularly the service center in Ravenel, which, is heading south on 17, needs to increase in size. I mean, we certainly see growth, happening down that way. So, we're right now, though, we have done a lot over the past 7 years to increase the convenience of having of paying online by e-check, which there is no charge, merchant service charge for that. So you can certainly pay still by online methods. Over the phone payments are also available now. They were not available before. So that is a bilingual service, and I'm certainly, proud of that. So we offer a variety of things to try and keep people even from having to get in their cars and having to go to a service center in the first place. So, certainly we'll monitor that growth and see if it's something that we need. But we're finding that more and more people are utilizing our online and over the phone payments. Just not only as a convenience method, but just because it is no additional charge with an e-check.
Well, yeah, you're exactly right. And how many people are currently going down to the service center in person for treasurer office services in Ravenel?
There are. Well, in Ravenel, I mean, there certainly, it will depend upon the time of year. Real estate tax season is going to be our busiest time of year, but we have, certainly a steady stream of people throughout the year coming in as well.
Wow. What is the biggest difference about the Charleston County Treasurer's Office when you started 7 years ago when I interviewed you for Quintin Close-Ups and you're running for that office to right now being in office?
Well, I think that we have really improved the programs that we have been able to offer to our taxpayers. Not only have I brought to this county the advanced tax installment program, but I have also been able to implement a way for us to issue decals and registrations from our counters. So if you choose to come into our offices, you can receive that sticker and registration without having to go to the DMV. I have also implemented new ways to pay online. I've implemented payments by phone. I have gone to bat for tax law changes at the State House, because of course that is what governs these offices is state law. I've also just simply been able to offer credit card and debit card readers at our counters, which were not there before. So I've worked really hard to modernize this office over the past 7 years and to bring taxpayer services that would make it easier to make payments, because that is certainly something that, this office it administers and is authorized to do, and that is what we work to do. I have worked to save money in my personal budget where I can, whether that be for the issuance of receipts, to just kind of working with vendors to make sure that whatever their negotiated contract is, we're paying the right amount of money. And so, those are things that I have been working really diligently on in this office, in addition to customer service. Again, I go back to that. I want to make sure that my team is friendly, is knowledgeable, and that you are able to get the right question answered the first time you come to this office. So, again, that is something that I train really hard on. We've just gone through another customer service training 2 weeks ago, and it's something that I think my team really understands, is that we are an office of service, and we want to make sure that again, whenever a taxpayer walks through our doors, they are met with a friendly face and a knowledgeable person. So those are the things that I feel like I've done, and my team, more importantly, has really worked hard to do the past 7 years. So we'll continue to chip away at that block. We love what we do here, and recognize that what we are doing is helping the community operate smoothly, so that the town of Mount Pleasant, the school district, the city of North Charleston, the city of Charleston, fire districts, Parks and Recreation, Trident Tech, they can all operate because we are helping them get what it is that they need to do that. So, we certainly see that as a big responsibility and the mission of this office. And we love what we do.
And I hope to get you back on in the fall so we can talk about more of your projects that you're working on for the Treasurer's Office. But for now, because I got to run downtown.
Okay.
Charleston County Treasurer Mary Tinkler, thank you for your time. And again, welcome back to Quintin's Close Ups.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Quintin. It's good to see you as always.
Likewise.